FPL GAMEWEEK transfer plans. What is up everyone, how's it going? FPL Era here and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Another massive green arrow in GAMEWEEK 11 and I've got a captaincy haul from Mo Salah to thank for that. Probably shouldn't have been celebrated as much as I did when I was over Manchester at the weekend, but that's what this game does to us. It is a start of the international break, but we do still have to plan in advance for GAMEWEEK 12. So in this video I'm going to show you how I fared out in GAMEWEEK 11 and we're also going to look at my transfer plans ahead of GAMEWEEK 12. We've lots to discuss, let's get into the video. So before we get into today's video, quick reminder as always to give the video a like and let's hit the like goal of 80 likes on this video. So head on down there, drop the video a like, and if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, I'm going to have to keep reminding you, head on down there, click subscribe. We're trying to hit 7k subs before Christmas. We're just over 100 subs off hitting this milestone. We're a month away from Christmas, so we have a bit of work to do. So if you haven't done so already, please head on down there, click subscribe and support the channel. So a quick look back to the GAMEWEEK 11 review. I scored 69 points of the week, which is another great score for the team. We'll start off with the captaincy pick, Mo Salah against Erling Haaland. If you did watch my team selection video, I did say it was a very close call between Erling and Mo. Thankfully, I did give the armband to Mo just because he was a player and the team in form compared to City. And thankfully, he came away with a goal and an assist for a monster 28-point haul. As I said at the start of the video, probably shouldn't have been celebrating the goal as much as I did when I was in the pub in Manchester, but this is what this game does to you. If you did captain Haaland in that game, you could probably feel a bit unfortunate to only come away with 10 points from the armband. He got his goal early on and I was expecting to have a second. He did hit the post as well, so 5 points, 10 points as I said from the armband. It's another win for non-Haaland owners this week. It's a weird game and I was hoping that Haaland would stay relatively quiet. Thankfully he did, and thankfully Mo Salah came away with that monster haul from the captaincy. Haaland was on for 8 points until he got that yellow card just before the game ended, so that dropped him out of the bonus points and down to 5 points to rob more salt into the wounds of Haaland owners and Haaland captainers. Going through the rest of the team, the Wolves lads were the stars of the game week. Aït-Nouri finally getting his first clean sheet of the season. It now means he's got 2 returns in his last 3 games since I brought him in on the wild. He was probably unlucky not to come away with an attacking return in that game also. Aside from the clean sheet, the highlight of that game was the fact that Aït-Nouri didn't pick up a yellow card, so he's going to be in the team for GAMEWEEK 12. On to Cunha then, brought him in last week for that Palace game. He came away with a return, and he picked up a goal and an assist for that Southampton game. I was eyeing up a haul in that Southampton game, and thankfully he did. Now means he's got 3 returns in his last 2 games, so he's been a great addition to the team. A late swap of Mykolenko into the starting 11 over Davis was the correct decision as he kept his clean sheet away to West Ham. Probably the only main mistake I made all week was starting Raya over Fabianski. I just played Raya just for security in case he did get that clean sheet, but it was wiped out late on at the bridge. Fabianski did come away with a 9-pointer, so if you did start him, fair play. Definitely missed a mistake on my own behalf, but we won't dwell on that too much. And then Mbeumo got his mandatory return at home to Bournemouth. Going through the rest of the team, there wasn't much to shout about. Palmer, Rodgers and Wood all blanking, and then even Lewis as well. I was happy to see him in that starting 11. He is an issue at the moment, something that we are going to talk about later on in the video, but he picked up a yellow card and conceded twice for 0-point return from the City defender. All in all, 69 points for the week was a great score for the team. We got a monster green hour and we're now sitting at 297k overall. 6 game weeks to go until Christmas, so we're well on our way to being inside the top 100k before Christmas, and fingers crossed we can get there. Right then, let's move on and see how we're shaping up ahead of the GAMEWEEK 12 deadline. So looking ahead to GAMEWEEK 12, here's the current setup of my team at the moment. And looking through the starting 11, we're not in too bad shape to be fair, but there are a few question marks throughout the team. Starting off on goals, David Raya, no clean sheet for Arsenal in their last 7 games. He's been very much a disappointment since brought him in the wild card. But saying that, even though they haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 7, they have a nice run of fixtures coming up after the international break. So I might be even tempted to bring Gabriel back into the team. So even though they haven't been in great form in defence, I do think they will start picking up some clean sheets. So I'm happy enough to leave Ryan in goals for now. And then looking at the defence, starting off with Rico Lewis, he got a start away to Brighton in GAMEWEEK 11. Wasn't worth the stress, seeing whether or not he was named in that starting 11, as he did come away with a 0-point return after picking up a yellow card and conceding twice. Looking at Rico Lewis for the next couple of weeks, I think he's going to be a big headache with the games coming thick and fast over the festive period. I'm sure Pepperlet is going to be in full swing, so we have some decisions to be made on what to do with Rico Lewis, but we'll chat about him later on in the video. Looking at the rest of the defence then, thankfully Aït-Nouri stayed out of the book in GAMEWEEK 11, so he'll be fine to play that Fulham fixture in GAMEWEEK 12. It is away from home. Fulham are very good at home, so I'm not too confident of a clean sheet for Wolves. We might see an attacking return from Aït-Nouri, has been very threatening in front of goals over the last couple of weeks. Finishing off my defence then, Mykolenko is in the starting 11 for now. He is at home against Brentford. I am expecting Brentford to score, but Everton are considerably better in defence at home. Looking at the bench then, I won't be playing Davies, I won't be playing Van den Berg, so that's why Mykolenko is in the back 3 for now. We've got no complaints on giving Mo Salah the captaincy. 7 double-digit returns in the open 11 fixtures for the Egyptian King, an absolutely crazy stat. and you wouldn't be too surprised if he did get another one in Game Week 12 against one of the worst defences in the league. Few injury concerns in the team, starting off with Cole Palmer. He has withdrawn from the England squad, but with a 2-week break for him, I do expect him to be fine for that Leicester game. He's slightly out of form. He was very quiet in that Arsenal game at the weekend. 2 blanks in his last 2 games, but if he is fit for that Leicester game, you'd surely be expecting to get at least 1 return, if not a haul, in that game. So I'm happy enough to hold Palmer for now, and Chelsea have a nice run of fixtures over the next couple of game weeks, so I'm more than happy to keep Palmer in the team instead of looking towards Saka. Looking at Morgan Rogers then, he has been hot and cold over the last couple of game weeks for Aston Villa, but I won't be pushed into selling him anytime soon, as he's definitely one of the best cheap assets in the game. And then finish off the midfield, Mbeumo away to Everton, and then Leicester at home up next. So 2 nice fixtures for Mbeumo over the next couple of game weeks. I might be tempted to offload him after these 2 game weeks when Brentford's fixtures get a bit more difficult, but we'll worry about that in the next few weeks. I have owned Chris Wood since game week 1, and he's been an absolute joy to own all season. However, Forest face Arsenal, Man City and Man United over the next 4 game weeks, so I regret to say it, I am very tempted to offload Chris Wood, but we'll chat about that later on in the video. Looking at Cunha then, he's been ticking along nicely since I brought him in over 2 weeks ago. An assist against Crystal Palace, a goal and assist against Southampton, and Wolves have a great run of fixtures up until game week 17. So fingers crossed we can see more returns from the Wolves man up top. And then Erling Haaland completes the starting 11 for now. He's still in my starting 11 for now. At his price point, I'm sighing there as well, but at his price point, he's definitely not performing to the standards that he should be. But looking at that Spurs game, especially if De Bruyne is back in the team, I think Haaland can do very well in that game. I'm expecting a goal fest, especially if KDB is back in. And looking at Man City's current form and their fixtures over the next couple of game weeks, of course, they got Spurs this week, as we've already discussed. Liverpool in game week 13, you could arguably take Haaland out of your team and not bring him back until game week 18 when Man City's fixtures turn for the better. You could be looking towards the likes of Isak with a nice run of fixtures for Newcastle over the next couple of game weeks, and hope he outscores Haaland over the next couple of weeks. Me, what am I going to do? For now, I'm happy enough to keep Haaland in the team. I'm happy enough to give him the Spurs game, definitely anyway, especially if De Bruyne is back. If De Bruyne is back in the starting 11 for that Spurs game, I do think it's a fixture Haaland can return well in. Let's see how he performs that game. If he doesn't perform against Spurs, I'll be more than happy to take him out for that Liverpool fixture and then offload him and then look towards bringing him back in game week 18. That's the plans around Haaland for now. I have got 2 free transfers ahead of game week 12, so let's move on and see who I'm looking at bringing in ahead of the game week 12 deadline. So looking at my transfer plans ahead of the game week 12 deadline, I have 2 free transfers to use. Could potentially be pushed into using the 2 of them. Starting off my first potential transfer plan, taking out Chris Wood and bringing in JOAO PEDRO of Brighton. As I said, I've owned Chris Wood since game week 1. He's been an absolute joy to own all season, but with Nottingham Forest facing the likes of Arsenal, Man United and Man City over the next 4 games, I can't see too many returns for Wood over these games, so even though he has been in mighty form all season. So probably the sensible move, might regret it, taking out Wood and then bringing in JOAO PEDRO of Brighton. He returned to the Brighton team at the weekend. He only needed 25 minutes off the bench to get a goal and an assist to come away with a monster 11-point return and break the Man City hearts at the weekend. Looking at Brighton's fixtures also, they have a great run of fixtures up until game week 18. They face the likes of Bournemouth, Southampton, Leicester, West Ham, Fulham over these run of fixtures. And with JOAO PEDRO being on penalties for Brighton, I expect him to come back straight into that starting 11 also. So that's why I'm looking towards JOAO PEDRO in for Chris Wood. If I do make that first plan move of Chris Wood to JOAO PEDRO, I then have enough money in the bank to move on Rico Lewis for either one of Gabriel or Konate. The Chris Wood to JOAO PEDRO move leaves me with 6.2 million in the bank. Gabriel is currently priced at 6.1 million in the game. I'm going to have to keep a close eye on the price rises and the price falls over the next few days, as JOAO PEDRO is close to a price rise and Rico Lewis is close to a price fall. So don't want to be priced out of that Gabriel move if I do want to double up on the Arsenal offence. As I said, no clean sheet for Arsenal in their last 7 games, but their fixtures do turn for the better over the next couple of weeks, so I'm probably at the moment, at the time of this recording, I'm probably more than likely to move for Gabriel and double up on the Arsenal offence once again. So that's my transfer plans ahead of the game week 12 deadline. We do have less than 2 weeks to go until the next game week in FPL, so I'm going to try and hold off as long as possible, as there are plenty of international games to come, and which could see more injuries in my starting 11. But as I said, I'm going to have to keep a close eye on the price rises and price falls to make sure I'm not price locked out of getting in Gabriel and JOAO PEDRO. If you've made it to the end of this video, please give it a like, drop a comment below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's hit the like goal of 80 likes on this video, so head on down there, give the video a like, and if you are still watching this and you're not subscribed, gonna have to remind you again, head on down there, click subscribe. We're trying to hit 7k subs before Christmas. We're just over 100 subs off hitting this milestone. So we're nearly there, but we do have a bit of work left to do. So I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, head on down there, click subscribe and support the channel. There's plenty more content coming your way over this international break. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.